I do personally is I listen to a motivational speaker. 30 to 40 minutes a day in the morning time as I'm getting ready.
Okay.
And the reason why I do that is because when I do hit those potholes, because you're gonna hit them.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. But the kids don't let it. Even if you get a flat tire, don't stop. Right. You just gotta keep going. When I hit those potholes, I know how to self-talk. Right. I know what I need to tell myself.
Yes. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'd like to welcome you to the Just Keep Showing Up podcast. Today I have the pleasure of speaking to Gene. It's someone I met in the gym. Y'all probably noticed, a lot of these podcasts have come with people that I go to the gym with. I had an opportunity to, I think, talk to maybe like 4 people I go to the gym with, which is very interesting to me because you find yourself doing life with people. And one way that I do life with a lot of people is right there at the gym. We got our 5:45 to 6 o'clock crew. That's what time we get there and we work out. So Gene was very interested in jumping on the podcast. I know he got a lot of stuff to share. And like I always say, this is people coming on a show and just explaining to you what they do for themselves. And I've often say none of this stuff is cookie cutter. None of this stuff is absolute. It's just people sharing their heart and sharing with everyone things that they do for themselves to get through this life, man, because it could be tough sometimes. So Gene, I'm going to pass it to you, man. If you can share a little bit about yourself with the people, man, whatever it is you want to share, whatever on your heart. So,
what's up, everybody? I'm Gene Ringgold, born and raised in Harford County, Maryland. I am a dad. I am a future husband. I am an entrepreneur and all-around hustler, man. So, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Man, Gene, I really, really appreciate it, man. This is great, man. So like I said, this is the Just Keep Showing Up podcast. I know something about you. I do know that you're an entrepreneur. You're a business owner. And I know that could be tough. And I hadn't thought about this before, but I'm thinking about it now. The fact that we went through COVID, man. COVID was, gosh, that was not too long ago.
No.
But oftentimes when we have pain, we kind of feel it. And then when the pain goes away, we oftentimes don't remember exactly when the pain left.
Right.
But the fact that you have a business, man, is still going. I could just think in my mind that had to be a tough time. But just things in general. I know you're a parent. You're a black male in America. You know that comes with a challenge. All kind of different things, man. So I'm just excited to have you on the show, man, for you to share the things that you do, man. The reason you show up. You know what keeps you going. What keeps you motivated.
I first and foremost, I feel I always tell people, you know, I don't have no choice but to show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because and it all starts with my grandparents. You know, my grandfather worked at SciTech in Havre de Grace, which is like a manufacturing company, right? And so he was a blue collar worker. Yeah. My grandmother was a custodian at the community college, right? Wow. Yeah. My other grandmother, she worked at the mess hall on the military base.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right. So then you fast forward to my parents. My mother had a daycare. She did in-home daycare when I was growing up, and then from there she went and worked for a manufacturing company, right? Called D&L. Then it changed to, I forget the name of it. And then my father was a deputy sheriff.
Okay.
Right. But before then he was a trash man, and then he worked at Job Corps. So all my life, all I knew was you gotta get up off your ass and work. Can I curse on here?
You good.
So all I knew growing up was like watching them was they just grind.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So and my father used to tell me like, look, man, like, you know, we do this so you don't have to work as hard for the opportunity. And so that always sat with me, and I'm like, man, no matter what I do, you know, I gotta. Even when I want to quit, I can't because they didn't quit. You get what I'm saying? My grandfather retired and then he died shortly after. Same thing with my grandmother. My grandmother was, you know, she retired, you know, a couple years after she retired. She passed away. You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I didn't want that to be me. So I felt like I couldn't be in the street, even though I was doing, you know, I played in the streets here and there. Yeah. I knew it was in the back of my mind. I'm like, this ain't no career for me, and this is, you know, obviously I can't let this lifestyle, you know, catch up to me or whatever. So I was like, I gotta put my brain to work. And growing up, my father always told me, I was like, He was like, you're too smart for your own good. You know what I mean? Because I was the type of kid that I could always hustle. You know what I mean? And and I was always doing. I had like a little T-shirt business at one time. I was painting sneakers at one time. I was making custom CDs at one time.
You're gonna make some money.
Yeah, I just always loved that like, you know, being able to go earn your own dollar. You know. So, but a lot of people don't know. Like, I still have a full-time job. You know, so my business is you know, I tell people we're a small company with a big vision. Right, but I still work a 9 to 5, and my business is still small. It's still growing. And this is just to show you how things line up, right? Like you don't know what I'm going through or what I've been going through, but you know, trying to build a business, and it's hard. You face a ton of adversity that people don't talk about. Right? You go on Facebook, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm living it up. I'm a business owner." You know what I mean? Everybody's like, you know, I'm a boss. Everybody's a boss until those invoices come in. You get what I mean? So and so I've experienced over the past couple years since I've been in business just the adversity. You know, I didn't go to college, so this is my college, and I've spent a lot of money learning. I probably lost the same amount of money equivalent to someone that went to college or was paying for college. You know, so that to be honest, and I know I've been a little long-winded.
No, you're good, man. Ain't long-winded. No, you're good.
But that's and my kids are why I show up every day. Because my dad was very, very very strategic and methodical when he told us when we was growing up. Like, he made sure we felt special. Like, listen, you're the one that's going to change this family trajectory. You know what I mean? In some way, shape or fashion, right? So I have a younger brother. He goes to Stevenson University, and he said the most crazy thing. And he was like, you know, he's taking business classes because I am doing business. You get what I'm saying? So just that little shift in our family.
In the mindset, right?
Our mindset, right? So, you know, my father didn't, he couldn't really teach me about good credit because he didn't have good credit. So when I went to him about it, I'm like, yo, like, Dad, like, why didn't you teach me this thing? He like, bro, I can't teach you nothing that I didn't know. So when he said that, I was like, oh, wow. So it drove me even more that okay, cool. I got to make sure that I learn as much as I can so I can pass on as much as I can. I think a lot of times we don't think about that, the little things that we don't know. We don't think about what we don't know. You know what I mean? As a parent. So, but yeah, man, that's why, you know, I show up every day. You know, the bottom line is a lot of people are counting on me. And I know.
That was very, very good, man. And it's a couple of things that you talked about that I want to definitely come back around to. When you mentioned this is my college, it makes me think about like, I communicate a lot through sports, and I think about LeBron James, man. When he came into the NBA, he was right out of high school, no college, right?
Nope.
And then I remember later on him mentioning when he went to Miami, like he came back to Cleveland, I think he mentioned Miami was almost like college for him, an opportunity to go to college. You know, and it's amazing how, because I'm saying this because I know a lot of people may struggle with that. There, what you said. Didn't have a chance to go to college because society teaches us high school, college, career, right? And college is probably not made for everybody, or everybody doesn't have the opportunity to go to college. But it still doesn't mean that you can't provide something very valuable to society. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
you kind of navigate. And like you said, this is my college. Like, kind of learning and being self-taught.
I think, you know, for me, I'm probably one of those people who I'm very competitive. Right? So super competitive. So whatever I apply myself to, I know I'll have some form of success. I know that about myself. But when I got to college, man, I was just like, man, this is not where it's at for me. I wasn't excited about it. Certain classes I was. I like psychology. I like the business classes that I was taking. But I didn't feel like, at one class, I remember sitting there thinking like, damn, they're just creating me to be a worker. Because my college professor, he was teaching me business, but I'm like, you're a college professor. You're not retired. You're not retired from your career and you come to do this. Like, you're not that much older than me. So it's like, okay, so you're telling me you want the college, you got this high dollar education. and you're not that far ahead of me. Like your salary is damn near obtainable to me.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, this isn't where it was at. And I forget who it was. Somebody told me they was like, college is so, because I was like, I was thinking about like, dropping out, and because I was young, I was having a kid, I was working 2 jobs, I was grinding, like I wasn't just sitting around going to school, like I was really grinding, and I was like, man, I'm thinking about dropping out, and I was like really like embarrassed about it, and it wasn't that I couldn't handle the workload, but it was because I just felt like, well, if I drop out, then I'm never gonna make it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I remember. I remember who his name. His name was one of my mentors. His name is Michael Micklin. I worked for him. He was like, listen, if you don't go to college, it's okay. You just have to find something that you're passionate about. Yes. And then pursue it. Yes. As if you were going to college.
Yes. Yeah.
And it'll pay off. And I was like, and that stuck with me. And that, I mean, you're talking, bro, years ago when he told me that. And so I was just like, all right. And then I realized like I'm a visual learner. Yeah. And college is very textile. Yes. And I'm a hands-on learner. And if you look at my grades, I excelled in classes like art. I excelled in classes like math. Yes. Right? Like all the but if you look at my grades, English, I was terrible. You know what I'm saying? My spelling was terrible. I couldn't. It was just like all the classes that required a lot of textile, even science. Science to me was terrible because if you look up one of these big scientific words and you look up the dictionary, it's a bunch of little scientific words inside. So I'm like, I'll never nucleus maximus. So I was like, I gotta find something that's gonna allow me to really thrive with my learning ability. Yes. Even my high school, I went to a technical high school. Okay. Yeah. I went to a public high school my freshman year, and my grades were subpar. Like they were like C's. Yeah. I transferred school to Hartford Technical High School, where it was more hands-on, more practical. I didn't make honor roll, but I was a B student. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think like understanding how I learned changed everything for me.
Yeah, and I think that's really good, man, because as you're talking, I'm saying to myself, show up for yourself. Show up in the capacity that you can be successful. Right. Like my son, for example, I talked to him, hey, Demaris, are you thinking about going to college? He's like, Dad, I'm thinking about going to a trade school. And I'm like,
nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with it at all, man. And I think it's great for you to share that, man, for people who may be listening that are younger and that's struggling with, I need to go to college. I need to go to college. It's like, no, go to where you can be successful. That you can be, you can reap the fruits. And then something else that you did share is you said, the experience that I gained is almost like, I did maybe spend money here and there. And it was like me paying for college, but I'm learning as I'm going.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That was really, really good. And then something else, man, that you mentioned with your dad, and I just want to come back and touch on this. When you said your dad made you feel special. And when you said your dad made you feel special, it automatically made me come up with the question of, does your dad, like, almost validating you, allow you to have more people in your life from the standpoint of you able to accept people for who they are? Like, you don't have to search around for somebody to stroke your ego or say, Gene, you're this or that, because you had that foundation built in you.
He made sure that I'm very fortunate and blessed, bro. Like even when I talk about my dad, I get emotional, just because of how much he poured into me. Right. And I'm able to, like with me, I know how to walk into a room and be me. Yes, that's you know what I mean. Man. I never walked into a room and was like, oh, let me go follow behind this guy. Yes. Like he made sure he used to tell us like you're not gonna worship no other man. You get what I mean? Like you be you. They'll follow. Like you know what I mean? So that was one of the things that he really made sure that I understood that I never had to follow the crowd. Yes. Ever. Yes. And then just telling me and making, like, he would point out things like look at these, like a lot of my friends they didn't have a dad. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in, right? Yes. So my dad was a lot of my friends' dad. Yes. And even now he runs the Hartford County he's the president of the Hartford County Football League, right? Okay. Or the football program, sorry. So a lot of the guys that he coached and a lot of guys that he was mentoring back then, they look to him as that figure as well, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of my friends that didn't listen and didn't have that mentorship, that did end up getting in trouble or were getting in trouble, he always made sure he would stop and be like, yo, they're making bad decisions because, you know, they're not taught.
Yes.
They're not, but I'm showing you how to make great decisions.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you that you're special. You're different.
Yeah,
because you don't have, you know better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was very, very strategic about who he placed me around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, my uncle, I love my uncle. That's my guy. He, you know, he did a lot of time. You know, because he made a lot of mistakes when he was younger. But when he came home, my dad never sheltered me from my uncle and be like, nah, I want you hanging around. No, he actually pushed me to him. And my uncle taught me the other side of things. You know what I mean? Yeah. And my dad knew it, you know, but he also knew that he wanted me to be educated with that side of life. So again, because education, ignorance costs more than education, he didn't want me to make those ignorant mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Same thing with my football coaches. It was a time when I was growing up, I spent more time in my football coach house than I was at my own house.
Yes.
You know, but he knew what my coach offered. He was younger. He knew I would listen to him. He was a little bit, at that time, he was a little bit more cooler. He dressed younger. Yeah. You know what I mean? My dad was old school. Like at that time, he was like, he wasn't with that. But he understood. He knew like, okay, my son's going to gravitate to him.
Yes.
He's a cool guy. Listen, when my son's in your care, I need you to press these things on him. And he did. That guy pushed education. He pushed my confidence. You're different. You guys are cooler. These kids, I see them. You know what I mean? Everything that my dad was saying, my father used him as a vessel for me. You know what I mean? So
that's good, man. Again, man, you dropping some like legit nuggets.
I told you I would be transparent, man.
I just wrote down. I said the power of a man, specifically a father, speaking into his son's life. Like how powerful that is. You know, for me, unfortunately, and it's nobody's fault other than my biological father. You know, deciding that hey, he's not going to be in my life, right? You know what I mean? I have a stepdad, but my biological father he wasn't in my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
My father I'm talking about is my stepdad. But if you ask anybody, they never knew that he wasn't my biological father.
It's a man that's there,
right,
speaking into your life. It's just such a powerful thing. And then also what you shared, man, with how, you know, being that man that other kids and other people can look up to. Because I could think of myself, a friend of mine, Todd Shelton, his dad, I can remember, man, as a kid, when I was in high school, his dad was almost like a snapshot of what I wanted to be. Like, because I was able to see Todd's family and how it was just a picture of like, man, a person that has husband, wife together, kids are successful. Yeah. They have a home. It's like just snapping almost to build the Cosby's right there in front of you. You know what I mean?
You're like, oh, okay.
The reason I wanted to work for UPS. So it's like kind of paying that forward and taking a snapshot and having that man in your life. And that's why, once again, I felt like it was so significant for you to want to come on a show and speak, because it's like, once again, another man coming forth and talking. Because women are very open, you know, willing to be vulnerable. But to get men to come and speak too, because we have a role. We all have roles. Men are not better than women. Women are not better than men. We just all have our roles.
Absolutely.
And we kind of show up. And their roles can change and switch. It's not, nothing is absolute. But it's just awesome, man. And then ignorance costs more than mistakes.
Ignorance costs more than education.
Ignorance costs more than education.
Yeah.
Ignorance costs more than education.
Yeah, think about this, right?
I never heard that, man.
Check this. I'll give you a perfect example. We just experienced it, right? Yeah. We was talking about, like, for example, and I'm gonna touch on something you said about your son too, because I don't know if you know this, but I'm gonna touch. So an electrician, right?
Yeah.
You need to hang up that fan that you just showed me. Like, man, I gotta hang up that fan in my guest room.
Yeah, and I can put it up. I'm just being lazy.
You can put it up, right?
Yeah.
Why can you put it up?
Because I kind of taught myself.
Because
I learned,
you know how. Yeah. So you're educated enough to hang that fan, right?
Yeah. Yes.
But suppose you didn't know how to hang that fan. Who are you gonna call?
It's about to cost me.
It's going to cost you more. Wow. Yes. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
That electrician going to come in and be like, oh, it's going to be $500. You're like, to hang that? Like, all right, man. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it for $250. You're like, oh, it sounds like you giving me a discount. And then it take him 10, 15 minutes. And then he take you $250 and he roll out. Why? Because he's educated and you weren't. So when you look at that, you're like, for me, when I realized that, I was like, man, like, again, the money that I lost wasn't because it wasn't because I intentionally did something wrong. It just was because I was uneducated.
Yeah.
Right. So I try to educate myself as much as I can with, you know, on the things that I'm trying to accomplish before I even move. Like that was the first, because I'm like, man, this could be a $1,500 mistake. I'll tell you a story real quick. I just made a $50,000 mistake.
Oof. Yeah.
Real stuff. Okay, so in Baltimore City they have this thing called CHAP, right, which basically is a tax credit they give you for preserving the architectural features of a property.
Okay.
Right. So I went and I got a demo permit approved by the Baltimore City. So when I called my CHAP guy to do my application, he said, "Man, I can't do it because you just pulled the demo permit. So if I put this application in, they're going to deny it." And I was like, "Why?" Because they already know that you're demoing it. So I was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "You should have never did that." I didn't know. That's a $50,000 mistake, because now what it does is, in short, I bought the house for $17,000. So I'm paying taxes on $17,000, even when it's all fixed up pretty and worth $200 and some thousand, right? So think about that. I got a $200 and some $1,000 house, and I'm paying the taxes on a $17,000 house. That's what that credit does.
Yeah.
But now I gotta pay because I didn't do the paperwork properly, or because I did the process out of order. Now, when the house is $200 and some $1,000, I'm paying taxes on the $200 and some $1,000 for the. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so you do that over 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
That's $50,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
At first, I was upset because I'm like, "You got to be kidding!" But I realized now I can take that education and I can go and charge somebody a couple dollars to make sure that they don't do it.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yes. That makes sense, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. So with the question I said, like the final question, man, you shared a lot of good stuff, man. Yeah. If it's anybody listening to the show, man, and they find themselves working in a business, or anything that you shared or talked about, man, what kind of advice would you have for folks, man? Or just with your experience of showing up, and you talked about your dad, and you know, those who may not have a pops.
Yeah, for life, those people who don't have that that person to lean on or friend to call, I would tell them, and you gotta. What I do personally is I listen to a motivational speaker. 30 to 40 minutes a day in the morning time as I'm getting ready.
Okay.
And the reason why I do that is because when I do hit those potholes, because you're gonna hit them.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. But the kids don't let it. Even if you get a flat tire, don't stop. Right. You just gotta keep going. When I hit those potholes, I know how to self-talk. Right. I know what I need to tell myself.
Yes.
Right. You're not the only one. You can't quit. You come this far. This is the difference between average and above average people. They stop here.
Yes.
They stopped at this moment. So I always tell people, the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time.
Yes.
Be consistent.
Yes.
Right? Be consistent. And I actually just made up this formula in my head, but it was let me see if I can get it. It was like, I sent it to Cliff the other day, and I was like, I'm on this consistency kick.
Yes.
I really am. I'm on this consistent.
Yeah.
You just have to be consistent. I might show up at the gym. I might not lift one weight, but I'm gonna show up in that gym.
Yeah.
I might just walk on the treadmill. I might just do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. The next day I might do 15 minutes. Next day I might go back to 5. But if I show up every single day,
yes, man.
If I show up every single day, I will see some results.
You will, yes.
Right, and so I apply that to everything that I'm doing, because you're gonna have those bad days.
Yeah.
Right, and you're like, man, I'm gonna get through this day. But then the end of the day comes, you're like, damn, this wasn't too bad. Right, so you have to, in order to keep showing up, you have to have that self-talk.
Yeah, self-talk. I like that, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I encourage people to find a way to get that self-talk. I read a lot. I try to apply what I read. I used to try to read a lot of books, right? Like, let me read all. I see you got your library here. I'm like, all right, let me read all. But now I might read only like one or two books a year.
Yeah.
But I try to apply everything that I've learned in those 1 or 2 books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In order to just to be better.
All right, man. I like the significance of one step or the significance of one bite.
Yeah.
It's just the power of that. Like I think a lot of times you really do need that one penny if you're striving to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
That penny is very significant.
And I think you have to quantify things too. I'm always quantifying things.
Yes.
Now. Like I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was getting real frustrated, and he was like, "Yo, you trying to be a millionaire, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to be a millionaire." Like, right? We all do, right? He's like, "All right, well, you plan on making 100,000 mistakes." I said, "Say that again." He said, you want to make 100,000, you want to make $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm. I
said, "Yeah." He said, "Okay, well, you're gonna make 100,000 mistakes."
Yeah.
You want to make $2 million, you're gonna make $200,000, 200,000 mistakes. Mm-hmm. So learning how to quantify things has helped me. Like, cause I'm like, okay, this is normal.
Yeah. I'm
not the only one going through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah. So, and like I say, in my business right now, man, I mean, I just went to court on Friday because I didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know, and I ended up getting sued. Mm-hmm. I could easily stop right now. Yeah. I could have easily walked out of there feeling defeated and feeling like, oh, well, you know what, this isn't for me. No, okay. Yeah. You know, this is part of the process. Yeah. Yeah. This is part of the process. Show up every day. I'm going to show up because the day that I don't show up, what's intended for me might show up that day. Yeah. The day that one day I'm like, I'm going to take off that day. Yeah. Right? Could be the day I miss my big break. So I'm going to keep showing up. Yeah. You know, so.
All right. I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you inviting me, man. I know we talked about it for a while.
And we did it, man. I appreciate it. All right. Thanks, everybody, for checking out the show. Until next time, peace.